Hatim, and you have joined us in Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Be sure to check out our site and subscribe at tribe.gyenyamejourney.com.
All my brothers and sisters, hold hands and bow your heads. Let us pray. God standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth amongst the gods. How long will you judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? I say, defend the poor and the fatherless, do justice to the afflicted and the needy, deliver the poor and needy, rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on and go. All the foundations of the earth are out of court. I have said, ye are God, and all of you are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men, and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O God, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. Allahu Akbar.
This is Kadar Franks, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Keep up with the journey. Check out what we have done in the past. Go to journeyarchives.com.
This is Abin Sheik, aka Ace, live from Shasha Mosh, and you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Be sure to follow Gye-Nyame Journey on Facebook, Google Plus, and Twitter. Check us out. Join the journey.
This is Abin Sheik, aka Ace, live from Shasha Mosh, and you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
You are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio with Monica. Enjoy. This is Marina. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
This is Willie. Welcome to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. I want to give shout out to Silver Kevin, all my sibling nation out there. I want to give shout out to my mom. I want to give shout out to my dad for raising me and my family to be around me. And I want to give shout out to the people of my generation that's trying to do something big.
Cleveland, and you're listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Peace, Hotep. It's Mansour Hotep, a.k.a. Mr. Deity. Mr. Deity doesn't sound good. I think it sounds great. Right now, you're listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. If you're not adding anything to the culture that you claim, you don't deserve to carry his name. This is Brother Hatim coming at you live, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Shout out to the Gye-Nyame tribe, Gye-Nyame family. Stand up, please. If you're not adding anything to the culture that you claim, you don't deserve to carry this name. This is Brother Hatem coming at you live, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Shout out to Shasha. Stand up. You are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Peace. This is Gina. And you are now
you listen to my daddy.
on Gye-Nyame Radio. Peace.
I have had enough. Family. What's going on? This is Brother Hatem, and once again, I want to welcome you to the congregation of the mighty. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. Come on, girl. Anime, what are you doing? What are you doing? Can I get a real Phoenix cry real quick? Thank you. And of course, you know this is a Heart of a Simple production, and we are on Folktales for Grown Folks. Folktales for Grown. Put the kids to bed, because y'all know we about to do some cussing. We about to do some real building tonight. We about to have an adult conversation. Put the kids to bed. You see mine just ran upstairs. Of course, you know this is a Heart of a Simple production. Did I do that already? We strive to do nothing but blow up those old paradigms. Alright, family, what I was doing was I was walking you through how simple it is to give to Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa. It is Kwanzaa season, and we need to start making those donations. I need you to go into your pocket, family, so that we can keep this celebration free. You read it yourself. Keep this celebration free. Y'all seen some of the stuff that was going on last year, and there's no reason why we can't do it bigger this year. Yeah, that knot is hot. Look at that knot right there. Yeah. Master my craft. But there's no reason why we can't keep it free and keep it beautiful and keep it growing. Come on, family. We need to start making these donations now. $5 here, $10 here. You could use PayPal. You can use your credit card. You can use whatever. We need vendors. And also, the most important piece is the directory. Family, we need people to start signing up for the directory. And while I'm thinking about it, I forgot to even I need to open up the lines. Let me open up the lines. And also open up the chat so that we can, I updated that, alright. I need to get the chats open so that we can also post it up, because I want to post up the link so that you could go directly to the Kwanzaa piece. We're in Kwanzaa season, so y'all know what I'm going to be talking about for the next how many ever days until we embark on Kwanzaa. We have to make it happen. Cultural stabilization. How can we talk culture? How can we talk nation building? Right? If we're not in support of those things that support the culture. I mean, it's not hard. It's not hard. Alright, so I got several things that I have to share with y'all tonight before we even get into the Folktales for Grown Folks. But let me open up these lines, because I know some of the family out there are gonna want to get on here and rapitates with us about some of the things that's going on in their lives. We're gonna talk about the folk tales, of course, and you know this is gonna lead us right back to what's going on in the current times, including what's going on with Kwanzaa. Family, I'm excited. I'm excited, and I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to see some of y'all. Some of y'all gonna come out in your finery. Some of y'all gonna come out and be supporting those vendors. Some of y'all gonna just be coming out, and I want to see you. I want to see you. Y'all hear them? Y'all hear them lines ringing, right? The lines.
You are the first participant on this Uber conference. Please hold while we wait for the others to join.
The first thing I want to put up in here is one. I want to copy this link. I want to post it up. I want to copy, and I'm going to post it up in all of the streaming timelines right now. I want to do that right now so that you have no excuse. It's ColumbusKwanzaa365.com. You can do it on your cell phone. The site was put together nice. It's some nice images from the stuff that was popping off last year. And of course, you know, Brother Hatim is going to be one of the hosts up in the place. We're going to have Brother Yarima coming out to speak. We got a lot of stuff we're going to have out by next week. I will start rattling off all of the stuff that is going to be going down during this Kwanzaa week, right? During those Kwanzaa week, we are on day 4 of December, so we are exactly 22 days out. Can you believe it? Right? And this will be 2 years straight that we've been doing the Daily Toast. So all my Daily Toasters. So now, one of the things that I'm trying to do, family, is I want to put up the Daily Toast list, the whole list. I got part of it. I got enough money to put one. I got enough money to put this page on. But there's a whole nother group of ancestors that I want to make sure that we can recognize, because they all are in the book. Now, I'm going to have to find a way if the family don't help, but I'm going to need the family help. Now, all you got to do is go to the citywide Kwanzaa piece, right? And you can put on there when you make a donation, or if you want to submit your business listing. You could either do the donation, and when you put the donation in, you could put a special note for Daily Toasters. I want to get the Daily Toasters list. We got one page. We need at least 2 pages to make it happen. All right? The way I want it to look good. I want these ancestors, and I want these ancestors. And I hope that y'all can agree, because I think that our ancestors need to be in that book, so that when we're doing the Daily Toast, guess what? You can pull out the beautiful book, because right now the artist is working on the cover, and it's going to be an original, and it's also going to be raffled off. Man, we're not playing with this. And then that book, not only will it have your ancestors, but it might have a plumber in there that you could use. It might have a bricklayer that you can use. They call them masons. It might be a woodworker in there, or a carpenter that you can use. It might be a dentist up in there. It might be a doctor up in there. You know what I'm saying? And you know that when you're going to these doctors, and you're going to these dentists, and you're going to all these people, that they are in support of cultural stabilization. This is one of the major pieces that we need, right? Because we could talk economics all we want, but one of the major driving engines of this Western society's culture and country is their holidays. Y'all, I know you think that you go out on Valentine's Day and you supporting your lover. No, you supporting the economic system of the United States of America. I know when you go and buy those Christmas gifts, you think that you're supporting your children. No, you're supporting the government. Matter of fact, Christmas time is the most wonderful time of the year. You bring the whole country back into balance, because that's when the majority of the money is spent. And it's all around a cultural stabilizing holiday. Kwanzaa is the major culture stabilizing holiday that we have. So if we really want to start building black community, we really want to start doing black economics, family, listen to me. We have to start taking our days seriously. When we have our little festivals, that's our little shot out there, right? right? We need to give our little businesses opportunities where they can set up and not have to worry about overhead, not have to worry about a lot of the issues that they may be confronted by. Family, I'm trying to tell you, it's major. This is not minor. So we need to go on and make sure that we own it. All right, so I got this book. We already got this book. Now, who is wrestling a hog on my line? Why is there some hog wrestling going on my line? Woo.
Sorry.
Who is that?
Lady J.
Okay. Girl. All right, so we got Lady J on the line. I'm going to the chat to see who else is up in here. Okay, cool. So it's kind of quiet out there right now, but I know some of y'all going to catch this on the repeat. So Kwanzaa's coming up. Lady J, are you getting the ad in Kwanzaa book?
Say it one more time.
Are you placing an ad in the Kwanzaa directory?
Yeah, I think that sounds like something I should do.
All right, cool. Well, you only got 3 days left. We only got about 3 days left.
Can you send me the information? I don't know.
This is what I'm talking about, right? I just posted it up on the timeline. You don't even be on the timeline. You just come on here to argue with me. That's wrong.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
You call here to cause a stroke. I understand. You trying to kill me. I understand. But go to ColumbusKwanzaa365.com and you can either donate or you can put an ad in. Now, like I was telling people, those that want to help put up, like if you don't have a personal ad that you want to put up and you want to put more than just one ancestor up, help me. I got one page already. I'm trying to get 2. Each page costs $100. So I'm putting all of the ancestors that I toast daily, and you got 2 of them on the list. You know what I'm saying?
I got more than 2.
You do?
I hope so.
No. Well, not unless I got you in the early part. I don't remember putting you in the early part, but right now, see, check this out. I got the book.
I heard them. I checked you out the other day. I heard them. It gave my heart joy.
We got for you. So while we here, I could call them out, because it's always good to call out the ancestors. I only got 2 on here for you. If I remember properly, hold on. Lady J, where you at? Not on the first page, not on the second page. You'll see these pages. Not on the third page. Okay. Oh, my fault. You're right. I got Doretha Ross, Riola Ross, Robert Nelson, Francis Stevenson, and Leroy Stokes. Do you have any?
I say.
That's what I'm saying, right? So, family, listen, I'm keeping track. I'm not playing, family. So now, let's go and get this book popping off. It would be beautiful if we got enough donations to have 5 pages. You know what I'm saying? And just have 3 empty pages, or how many ever pages we need empty, so that people can start adding them in on the book. And I could be reading from the book every day, so every morning you can wake up and you can see the Kwanzaa directory. Oh, beautiful, right? So, now let me see what else. Now the black signal is up. So I posted on the timeline. Hold on. Oh, my fault. I forgot to post this up. Hold on. I got to post it up on that's still let's refresh. Let's go back and refresh. Lady J, while I'm doing some of this, you got some stuff you want to go on and shout out real quick? Also, you know what else would be good? You know what else would be good? Simba and Simpson since the camp, because those that don't know, Simba and Simpson will be doing a camp in Ohio this year. So, it would be good for Simba and Simpson, or Rescue, Release, and Restore, to get an ad in, just to let people know that Simba Sister is here, and that we will be having a camp. It don't have to be nothing complicated. It could be half a page. You know what I'm saying? So, we got to do this. We got these opportunities to advertise. We need to do it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lady J. You know I'll be running my mouth.
Yeah, so I just left my son's basketball game.
How you do?
He did pretty good. I am he's not home yet. But yeah, I am. I'm pleased that he, out of all the boys that tried out, I think the coach chose 13, and he was one of them. So that,
that's excellent.
That was awesome.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
So how many tried out?
Huh?
How many you said tried out of how many?
I don't know how many tried out, but I know they have several cuts every year, and this is the third year that he's made the team. They're the freshman team now, and they look pretty good because these boys have been playing together for the last 3 years. 2 years.
That's hot.
So this will be their third year.
That's hot.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're gelling, and they're looking, we struggled the last 2 years, but we look damn good. But what happened, there was a kid, last name Irvin. Do you remember him without me saying his first name?
No.
My first year at Millennium. D. Irvin, Durante. You don't remember him?
Yeah.
So, Melvin goes to school with his brother, his little brother. And I run into him from time to time. And sometimes they're better than others.
Time out.
But,
I don't remember him having a little brother. Is he super young? I don't remember him having a brother.
No, he's in middle school. I believe they share like a same father or something like that.
They're just giving the boys business out on 9. God damn it. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening.
His father was out of town.
Hey, now, okay, stop.
Oh, okay, yeah. So maybe from his father. But anyways, I run into this young man today, and it's always a pleasure to see him because he and his partner, that they were best friends back then, they would give me a run for my money. And one day I had an epiphany, and I've convicted myself. And basically what my issue was is that from my struggle, from my own story, from my own plight, I had developed this thing that prevented me from feeling sorry for people, right? And I had given it, I basically determined that if I could make it, you could make it. So I was, can you have me mind, please? So I was extremely, I knew it, tough on these kids. Like I said, sometimes I kind of felt bad because I figured, these kids are going through. I just didn't have, I don't know, I didn't have the sympathy, right? I just didn't have it in me. I couldn't find it. But when I saw him today, the smile that accompanied his face, you know what I'm saying, gave me life. And not only that, he was able to sit down and have an honest conversation with me about his obstacles that he has faced. And I was able to tell him how to turn that stumble into a triumph. You know what I mean? How to twist and turn, how to make that his troubles that he recently had, how to use that as a testimony, right? As a declaration. And that conversation, very short, right, was enough to fill my cup. And it just reminded me of, it's good when you can get that reminder, or that when you can get, because this work doesn't give you a pat on the back. It's not like you get your check and your check is worth, it is a reflection of the work that you put in. That's what we do working with these youth. However, this is the pat on the back. This is the job well done. This is the thank you. This is the repayment, right? Seeing our youth, seeing our young people basically old enough now to even rehash, recall, put into play the lessons and the stories and the encouragement and the examples. You see what I'm saying? That you have given them about life, and now they're at a position where they can actually apply it. It's just a beautiful thing, and I just wanted to share that. Sometimes we look at our youth, and they, a lot of times, especially, I'm speaking personally, our young black males, it's easy. It's easy for us to wash our hands. It's easy for us to give up on this generation. It's easy for us to say that they're doomed or that they're too far gone. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. It's all a road, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the process, and we got to trust the process. And today I was reminded of that, trusting the process. And so, I just want to say this is a rewarding job.
It's an adventure, baby.
Quotation marks.
It's an
adventure. Put that in between quotation marks. But this is a beautiful job. I want to remind all of the listeners that we are hiring. Continue, if you don't mind, if you have some.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, I'm still here. I just want to remind everyone that we're hiring.
Okay.
School teachers, we need them.
Okay, school teachers are hiring, y'all. Mm-hmm. Hey, you want to change the future? You want to affect? You want to do some real nation building? Stop playing. School teachers are hiring, as she said. So get on it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we always looking for teachers, and there's always a need for teachers. And like I said, we also are doing work on weekends. If you don't have time to come out during the week, between Simba and Simpson, between Gye-Nyame, we be hitting about 30, 40 kids. Right now, I wasn't able to make it up there because my car broke down on Nia last week. But I'm understanding we had about 16 young people up in there, and that wasn't even supposed to be that many because this was the training for what we're gonna do at Kwanzaa. So now we got a whole new group, and I got to start the practice all over again. But I'm not mad. Don't get me wrong. So I'm putting up the Columbus Kwanzaa 365 link, and I'm asking the family to start donating. We need to start getting donations coming in so that we can make sure that we show the support for Kwanzaa, to make sure that everything goes down in the way that it needs to go down, which it will. The ancestors are out there, but with the ancestors the ancestors work through us. So let's don't do, as I call it, magical thinking and think that the next person or some, we gonna hit the lottery before that. No, family, we got to lift up our bootstraps. We gotta carry the water from the well. We gotta carry the bucket to the well to get the damn water. So let's get the carrying. So now also, I want y'all to know that we have another website. I know y'all like, Brother Hatim, not another website. Yep, we got another website for those of you. Along with this new black signal that I got, right? I have a website that I was able to place all the links on for Spreaker. So you could just go to this, you could download this on your phone, or you could start it on your phone, and you could, whenever a show come on, you could go right to it, flip to the page. You could say, well, today I feel like watching on YouTube. Today I feel like watching on Facebook. Today, you know what I'm saying? Today I feel like listening while I'm driving. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to push Spreaker. Family, listen, it's important that we start building up our media. And like I said, I need you to like and share, like I just seen my sister Nichelle do. Like and share so that people can start finding what we're doing and help promote the work. We about building our people. We about building our tribe. And by building our tribe, we build our people. So let me go and post this last thing in, and then we get straight into the conversation about oh man. Shouts out. We got Brother Kwame. We got Sister Vanessa there. We got I don't know why there's an angry face on my post. I don't understand that. Let me see. I'm going to try to post it again. I don't know why it's mad. I got a mad face on my post. What's going on? See if it pop up again. The mad face. I don't understand. Right? So hopefully it works. Now the black signal is back up. Let me go to my site and post up where you could go in See, because now, if you just opt in, because I'm going to be sending out a blast, right? If you just opt in, this is going to be the problem with you just opting in, right? If you just opt in, I'm just going to have a number. You know what I'm saying? I want your birth date so we can send out happy birthday messages. I want more information because we're going to be able to have a contest. And I'm going to sit down with all of with my tribe and think about some contests that we could start throwing on this new black signal that I got, this new improved black signal I got, so we could start, one, making sure that the people that's listening in and checking out stuff could know that we like them. Maybe we might give out this Aesop Fable, this well-used Aesop Fables book that has been accompanying us on our discussions. I know y'all like, Brother Hatim, why would you give out an old book? This old book has been part of our conversation for almost 4 years. We have been walking through this book once a week for almost 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Maybe more than that. So we've been doing this show for a while. So this is kind of like our collector's items. We got to determine what's valuable. If we're going to have a culture, we can't be, okay, I'm going to go and get a Basquiat, or I'm going to go get, no. The books and stuff from us, the stuff from us. I didn't write this book, but we've been using this book. And I'm quite sure some people have got some wisdom that may have helped change their lives out of this book. But I don't think I'm going to give this book away. But, maybe I'll go and get you a new one. But what I'm saying is out there. So let's go and get into these folk tales, Lady J. Let me make sure I posted up everything I need to post up. I imagine so. If anybody out there got the latest black signal, please let me know. Because I want to know if it worked. I want to make sure, I want to make sure that we getting what's being paid for, right? I want to make sure we getting what we pay for. And I know some of y'all come in late, but look at the links, click on the links so that you could be able to stay up with us. I want you to stay with us. I don't want you to get lost. I want you to stay up in here with us. So now, here we go. You ready, Lady J? We got 2 of them tonight because we didn't cover one last week. I tried to throw it out there on last Kaumba. Didn't get a lot, you know what I'm saying? A lot of response. But I think both of these are relevant for where we are as far as a community. You ready?
Yes.
All right. Send the babies to bed. You know what I'm saying? Because we're about to get into it. Here we go. First one. It's called The Miller and His Son and Their Ass. The Miller, His Son, and Their Ass. And I promise it's not a porno. Here we go. A miller and his son was driving their ass to a neighboring fair to sell him. They had not gone far when they met with a troop of women collected round a well, talking and laughing. "Look there," cried one of them. "Did you ever see such fellows? To be trudging along the road on foot when they might ride." The old man, hearing this, quickly made his son mount the ass and continued to walk along merrily by his side. Presently they came up to a group of old men in earnest debate. "There," said one of them, "it proves what I was just saying. What respect is shown to old age in these days? Do you see that idle lad riding while his old father has to walk? Get down, you young scapegrace, and let the old man rest his weary limbs." Upon this, the old man made his son dismount and got up himself. In this manner, they had not proceeded far when they met a company of women and children. "Why, you lazy old fellow," cried several tongues at once. "How can you ride upon the beast while the poor little lad there can hardly keep pace by the side of you?" The good-natured miller immediately took up his son behind him. They had now almost reached the town. "Pray, honest friend," said the citizen, "is that your ass you're on?" "Yes," replied the old man. "Oh, one would not have thought so," said the other, "by the way you load him. Why, you two fellows are better able to carry the poor beast than he you. Anything to please you," said the old man. "We can but try." So alighting with the son, They tied the legs of the ass together and with the help of a pole endeavored to carry him on their shoulders over a bridge near the entrance to the town. The entertaining sight brought the people in crowds to laugh at it, to the ass not liking the noise nor the strange handling that he was subject to, broke the cords that bound him, and tumbling off the pole, fell into the river. Upon this, the old man, vexed and ashamed, made the best of his way home again, convinced that by endeavoring to please everybody, he had pleased nobody, and lost his ass in the bargain. Where my lightning? Lightning, where art thou? Lightning, get up off your ass, no pun intended, and do your thing. Ooh, man. So let's go and chop up that first one. What you get from that first one?
My father used to tell me this same thing over and over all the time when I was little. There were certain things I had to recite, and there were certain things that were just reiterated. And one of the lessons that he reiterated was that you can't please everyone. So his example, his analogy was, if you lined up 100 people, if you lined up 100 people, gave them all $100, walked one by one, gave them $100 bill and shake their hand. By the time you made it halfway through the line, they would have some fault with you. And all you did was give them $100 and shake their hand.
Mm-hmm.
And so from that, I never forget that it's impossible to please everyone.
Impossible.
It's impossible. So the best you can do is aim to please yourself.
Now,
so you must follow your heart. You just got to follow your heart. And had he followed his heart, had the miller followed his heart, he wouldn't have lost his ass, right?
He wouldn't have lost his ass. Say it again. Say it again for the people. They might not got that.
He wouldn't have lost his ass. So just that's just what it is. So I guess the take home is when we aim to please others instead of pleasing ourselves, what happens in the end is, basically there's no happy ending to that.
None. And not only do we have to practice that as individuals, we got to practice that as people, as a group, as a tribe. When we strive to try to make everybody happy, make everybody comfortable with what we're doing, we are, in a sense, robbing ourselves of a real opportunity, and it does no one any good. That poor ass, man. Think about. That ass was confused, and the asses ain't even that smart. You know what I'm saying? And he was probably confused. And we could see similar things in how we as a people handle our politics. We can see the same thing in how a lot of us operate in our jobs. We can see the same thing in how a lot of us operate in relationships. And in the end, we are the ones end up losing. See, because now what I love about that is that people gathered to laugh at this man in his efforts to please. So even in his efforts to please, he was made to look like a fool. People didn't understand what he was doing because he's trying whatever pleases you, sir. Old people, young, boom, boom, boom. He couldn't make up his mind. He wasn't following his own Kujichagulia, his own self-determination. He wasn't on purpose. He was on accident. When we on purpose, you don't have time. You don't have time to be dealing with people's comments, because a lot of people's comments are accidental because they don't understand your purpose. Black folks, in our politics, in our economics, we are living accidentally rather than on purpose. And you can tell we're living accidentally because we're trying to please everybody. When you're on purpose and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you can step on people's toes and might not even notice it. I'm sorry, I didn't even know you were standing there. You should have got out my damn way. You know, and in many ways, we kind of have to be like that, because this world, with everybody's opinions, you know what I'm saying, you'll be all twisted up, broken up by the end of all that, and be going home vexed and assless like this Miller. You know what I'm saying? He should have been a clown. It should have been the clown, his son, in the ass. You know what I'm saying? Because if he ran his mill like he was running that ass to the market that wasn't even that far from his house, I mean, the family probably starving. But hopefully he got the lesson. And family, as black people, we got to get the lesson. We got to get the lesson out of these, or we wasting our time. So those that are not back on the black signal, and you want to do the daily toast, because daily toast is a special force. So I posted one up where you got the black signal. If you just want to know about events, right? You text GNJ to 77292. If you want the daily toaster, if you want to be a daily toaster, text toaster TOASTER to 77292, right? And you'll be added to the list. If you just want the Folktales for grown folks, type in FFGF and text FFGF to 77292, and Folktales for grown folks 77292. You know what I'm saying? My fault. And if you want tribal quotes, just type in tribal in 77292. The number now is 77292. You know what I'm saying? If you got messages or requests for the black signal. Now, I might not respond to you on that, but I will get all of the messages left on there. If you want to sign up, you could go directly to that now, or you could go to my link on that I left on Gye-Nyame Journey and go to where it say the black signal is back up. Yep. You know, you can't keep a superhero down. All right. So, Lady J, you got anything else you want to add on that one? You want to go to the next one?
Yeah, we can go to the next one.
All right, the next one is good. The next one is good, man. I'm gonna have to do lightning. I'm gonna have to do lightning before we get into this one, man, because this one is a godsend, and on top of that, it's a paradigm shifter. Yes, it is. And on this one, I also got to ring the bell. This one is called The Crow and the Sheep. Let me say that again. This one is called The Crow and the Sheep. A troublesome crow seated herself on the back of a sheep. The sheep, much against his will, carried her backwards and forward for a long time, and at last said, "If you had treated a dog in this way, you would have had your deserts from his sharp teeth." To this the crow replied, "I despise the weak and yield to the strong. I know whom I may bully and whom I must flatter, and thus prolong my life to a good old age." God damn.
Can you repeat that again?
Hold on, let it explode, because, you know, I'm just like, damn. That's hot. Sister Vanessa, do type in toaster and text it. Well, go to 77, text 77292 and type in toaster. Okay? Toaster. All right, here we go. A troublesome crow seated herself on the back of a sheep. The sheep, much against his will, carried her backwards and forward for a long time, and at last said, "If you had treated the dog in this way, you would have had your deserts from his sharp teeth." To this the crow replied, "I despise the weak and yield to the strong. I know whom I may bully and whom I must flatter, and thus prolong my life to a good old age." That's all. I mean, I might need to do another explosion on that one.
You might want to read that one more time with the punchline.
This is good for kids or children. This is good for adults. Listen, The Crow and the Sheep. You can look it up online. All of these are online. A troublesome crow seated herself on the back of a sheep. The sheep, much against his will, carried her backward and forward for a long time, and at last said, "If you had treated a dog in this way, you would have had your deserts from his sharp teeth." To this the crow replied, "I despise the weak and yield to the strong. I know whom I may bully and whom I must flatter, and thus prolong my life to a good old age." Damn. 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 Come on, Lady J. Come on, because you know I'm going to rip that one into pieces. And some of y'all going to be so mad at me. But I'm satisfied with that. I can live with that. Man, oh man, what a punchline, as Lady J said. I despise the weak. I despise the weak. And I know whom, it says, I despise the weak, and I know who to bully and whom I must flatter, and thus prolong my life to a good old age. Damn. Come on now. Come on, Lady J. Come on, Lady J. Come on now. If you ain't got nothing, just say I ain't got nothing. Say, hey, I'm empty.
No, it's
because you can hit the.
Can you hear me echoing?
No, not that much. You can hear in this one. We can see personal development. We can see community development. We can see tribal development. We can see national development. Simple rules. Simple heuristics. Rules of thumb. Come on, man. Oh my God. I can end the show right here, right now. Because it's so simple and it's so clear. And it's so real. Come on, family. Ain't nobody out there that ain't touched nobody else, because that touched my soul right there.
It touched my soul too. You gotta pick your battles. I haven't mastered the art of picking my battles.
Well, that's why you got elders in your life, because sometimes we can be like, you need to shut up right now. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I'm just so passionate. It just goes down. It goes down. If I think it, I say it. It's like, now, just play. But I think that I think that the punchline said it all. Despise the weak, yield to the strong. Know who to bully and know who to flatter. That will prolong your life to a good old age.
To a good old age. Know who to flatter. He said, I know Who the bully?
You know, it's crazy because I often tell people I know that where I'm at, I didn't get here though I've always been here because I had the best grade. I didn't get to where I'm at because of anything other than the fact, to be honest, I know who to flatter. A lot of people that I talk to, and just giving advice, even my son, I'll use my son for an example. Every time I recommend, like a solution to a problem that he's having at work, his rebuttal, which is not uncommon, is I don't kiss ass, right?
Mm-hmm.
This idea that I don't kiss ass. And so when I hear this, my thinking always is you ain't got to kiss everybody's ass, but you got to know whose ass you should be kissing.
Well, don't call it that. I mean, don't call it that. See, because remember, we come from...
those are not my words.
I'm just saying.
Because I wouldn't say that I kiss ass either. But what I'm saying is, when I give my advice on how to handle people, especially people who is your administrator or someone, your supervisor, when we're talking about how do you get up on a promotion, right? Get selected for promotion, basically. It's always, I don't kiss ass. That is how people sum that up. And I don't sum that up as kissing ass, but like I said, my rebuttal is, yeah, you probably do need to. Because I can admit, and I tell students this all the time. I tell my kids this all the time. I know for a fact. I hate to say it. We know that kids perform better for teachers they like, and teachers get better grades for kids they like. Period. That you could be at the cusp, right on the verge of a C to a B to an A. If you are a pleasure to have in class, you just earned yourself an A. You just earned yourself a B. If not, you stay where you're at, no rounding. And that's just reality. I mean, that's just the truth.
Right.
That was my experience in school. When that boy, Maurice Claret, got in trouble for getting grades at OSU, my face, everything about me was just tore up. Because I too was at OSU at that time, and I don't play any sport, but I too have been gifted some grades. I have been gifted some grades right on the cusp, right? I remember I walked into my professor's office one day, and I had senioritis, and I needed this class. I took this class only, Hatim, because they told me some athletes was going to be in there, right? Mm-hmm. They told me, it was human nutrition. They told me all the football players took this class. So I was going to take this class. I took this class just so I could see the boys. You know what happened? When I showed up, we were in an auditorium, massive auditorium with the lights off. You couldn't see nobody or be seen. I lost all interest. This was my last year of school. I remember going to my professor's office, which I did often. I never went to his class, but I always went to see him in his office to copy down a note. And I remember giving him an assignment past due. And he said, well, and I told him, I said, I need to pass this class. What can I do? He said, well, what grade do you need? I told him. He gave me the damn grade. So it wasn't out of I just told you what it was. Flattery. Flattery. Knowing who to flatter. Knowing who can, be pivotal.
Now,
can help get you where...
One of the things, because like when you're trying to advance in somebody else's system, right? Just by being in a system, you already are low on the totem pole. It's not your system. So you're gonna have to do some. You're gonna have to do some knowing who to flatter and knowing who to bully, especially the system that's based on bullying. God damn it, the bullies make it to the top, or the ones that could pay the bullies make it to the top. Now, and another piece that we have to realize, because like, you know, the whole term, I don't kiss ass. Hold on, dog. Let's be clear. See, because even in our systems, man, you have to take into account that there was always order in our tribes. The tribes that became bigger and became nations, there was order, because in order for shit to go and in order for shit to run, everybody was beholden to the collective, and everybody, in a sense, had somebody in charge of them. So you always need to know how to talk to people. That's one of the things that my grandparents stressed with me. You know what I'm saying? How do you know how to talk to people? I remember one time my grandfather got so mad at me one time because he would walk by me, he'd say, "How you doing?" I said, "I'm doing good." Just walk away. "How you doing?" "I'm doing good." Just walk away. And one day I tried to walk away. He said, Hold on. Every day I ask your little ass, "How you doing?" And not once have you ever just asked me how I'm doing. I say, well, I didn't know. I didn't know I was supposed to do that. And a lot of this stuff you learn, because like, you know, I have people get mad at me because I say, you know, when they be, "What's up, Miss Sharika?" They be mad at me because I tell them, they say, you know, they want to talk to me about my kids' grades. And I'm like, I'm less interested in my kids' grades. I'm more interested in how they get along in class with the other students and how they get along with you. Because just like you, right? I got good grades because I knew how to talk in class. You know what I'm saying? I was very respectful. You know what I'm saying? I never looked at giving another human being the respect that they deserve in a position, because it ain't even giving that human being. And this is what I learned in the military, and I'm gonna get to this in a second because this thought came across my head today. In the military, you learn that you give respect to the rank and not the individual in the rank.
I said.
You understand what I'm saying? See, and a lot of people can't get past that. You get caught up in your own shit, and you like, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, you end up like, you might be like that bird on the back of a dog. He gonna get his comeuppance, as the sheep said, right? But it's like you don't have to respect the individual, and this is what I'm trying to teach my kids. You don't have to like that teacher, but that teacher has a title, and that title is teacher, and that teacher is holding the pen over you. And one of the only reasons that a lot of you may be getting some of the grades that you're getting is because it's easier to give you a passing grade. It's easier to give you a higher grade than to argue with your parents, whose whole self-esteem is based on the grades that you get. Now, you're in education. I'm gonna jump off to education real quick. So I was sitting in the class today because I go to the classes on a daily basis. I'm floating throughout the building all day. That's why I wasn't able to call you, Kwame. You called me right in the middle of my class, and I just looked at my phone and saw that you called me. So I apologize, and I will get with you maybe tomorrow after we do the toast. But I have a question for everybody out there. Who is harder to train, children or adults?
Adults.
Adults. Okay. I'll go for that. All right. So, if adults are harder to train, I was thinking about my military experience. And when I went through basic training, we were introduced to a company. And in that company, we were put into squads. And the squads were like miniature tribes. So let's just say that the company is a family. And in that company, you have No, the company is a tribe. And in that tribe, you have 4 families, which is a squad. Squad A, Squad B, Squad C, Squad D, or whatever name you gave your squad if you was the squad leader or y'all decided. And in there, you had, for each adult in that squad, there was one main teacher, a person in charge, and a sergeant. And then you had a sergeant overlooking. So for a company, which would be about 36 people, if you really, somewhere around 36 to 39 people, somewhere within there, you would have almost 11 adults or 11 other grown men training the rest of these men. So out of 39, you would have 11 that will be responsible for training these men. Now I have a question when it comes to our classrooms and us getting quality education for our children. And I understand adults may be harder to train. I would say it's easy to train adults. But that's me.
Not at all.
I disagree. I disagree because
I'm gonna tell you why.
Go ahead, tell me why. Tell me why.
Children are you got to think about hold on one second. I'm sorry. You got to think about young adolescent development. Mm-hmm. You got to think about how the brain forms when the brain is finished forming. That idea, that saying that you can't teach an old dog new tricks,
is not true.
And so the reason why I say it is just for that sheer reason. We know that young people are more impressionable. You can still mold them. In fact, that group that you teach is the reason why I teach that work. You teach all of them, but I work in a middle school because I know that they are most impressionable. I know that they're at an age where their brain is just now getting to its full maturity, and it's not completely finished developing, right? Mm-hmm. And so you get to a young adult, a high school student. They're basically already, unless some type of experience happens that causes them to have an awakening and have a paradigm shift, they're kind of already stuck in, already into their mode. And then the same thing goes, it's definitely true for adults. Definitely true for adults. And so what usually provides, I feel like a shift for adults is just like I said with high school students. You got to have an experience, right? You got to have an experience. It's not going to be the molding of the mind. A lot of times they're already, this whole cognitive dissonance, they're already married to their beliefs. And even when you present them with evidence that says otherwise, they continue to ignore it because, again, it does not coincide with what they already believe. So it's just harder. It's just harder to get them to have that shift.
I'm gonna give you that one. But I have a problem with us as far as the military having, let's say, 1 to 7 as far as that education system in the military. And then we come to the school system and we got like 1 to 20, 1 to 25 when it comes to the public education system. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that I prefer the model that they use for the military and breaking them down into smaller squads and providing more educational support for them teachers, because teachers are doing a very hard job because and especially with the age you working with, because you said a lot of them ain't set. I'm running into a lot of teenagers who, and maybe it's just the belief because I know I'm planting trees and not corn, so I'm not going to see immediate responses and shit. But a lot of them appear to be set in their ways, and maybe it's a time shift.
Not at all. Not at all. And now this is what I love about young people. Reverse psychology works. I can't pull. I've taught in elementary for 4 years, which I hated it. I hated the parents more than anything. I've substitute taught in high school for a number of years, as well as my current appointment with middle school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I've found to be true for young people, like I said, the most impressionable and reverse psychology works. It works. And so I can manipulate, I feel like, a young person. Now, I want to say something. I watched this work at him my first year of teaching ever. I went into a third grade classroom, and the third grade teachers were quitting right and left because of this third grade guarantee, right? So I did not. We talked about the other day how elementary education, when you go to school to be an elementary teacher, it's a lot different than a middle school teacher where you choose 2 areas of certification. So my first year, I taught ELA and I taught science. So my kids had to take this ELA test. I kid you not, I believe my passing rate was 97%, I tell. And I kept telling my girlfriends I didn't know what the hell I was doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. But one thing I knew for sure was that if I could convince those children that they had already passed the test, they wouldn't start the test defeated. So the day of the test, before they cracked, this is before they did it on the computer, before they opened that test, I kept walking up and down my aisles. I remember high-fiving them. I remember the words that I spoke into them. And when I tell people how, when I was questioned how my students performed that well, that is what I told them. I had convinced my children before they had already started the test that they had succeeded. Had those been high school students or older adults, I don't know if they would have fell for that. But these kids, just those words, just that affirmation, they were willing. They believed me. They believed me, and that made a world of difference. But that's why I love the age group that I work with, because you can do things like that. You can definitely do things like that. Yeah, we just forget that these kids are impressionable. We forget that they're easy to manipulate, a lot of them. We forget that they think they know, but they have no idea. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We forget that.
Uh-oh, somebody just signed up for the toaster. So the daily toast is going out tomorrow morning. So those that want to use Brother Hatim's alarm, this is your opportunity. Oh, we had 2 of them. Hold on, time out. Hold on. Oh, my fault. I sent those out. That's not them coming in. Oh, no, that's one came in. All right, so you will be added to the Daily Toaster morning list. Thank goodness. Now, I brought that up because one of the things I'm saying is, because in some cases we the sheep, in other cases we the crow. In society, family, I'm just going to say, as a people, we are that goddamn sheep. And everybody is riding us around, taking advantage of any motion that we make. He heading this way. Woo, good. Oh, he heading that way. Woo, good. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, we could pack your children into a classroom. Because I'm going to let you have this one, far as the argument about the young people and older people. But what I'm going to say, not even have it. You earned that. And in many cases,
you don't have to let me have it. I just took it. Sorry, no, I'm just playing. Go ahead. Thank you, Tim. I'll take note.
But the point that I'm saying is this. We spend more money on educating adults to go out and kill than we do to move our children towards healing and building this country. And I honestly believe that the student to teacher ratio in many cases is too high for us to really be productive. And actually,
I tell you what you do then. I tell you what you do.
No, I ain't got to do nothing but suspend.
You build classroom communities. You build classroom communities. So you get your community, you get your parents into these classrooms in order to build that bridge.
Hold on.
Also, I do want to say that though I think that it's easier to train young people, I am of the belief that adults need role models too. I am of the belief that adults need support too. There have been times when I've called parents and the parents were preoccupied, but I'm going to say that's not, it's probably 50-50 out there. 50% of the parents are preoccupied with all things that don't matter. I wouldn't even say 50. I'll go a little lower. I'll say 25. 25 preoccupied.
Nice.
25 don't know what the hell to do, and 50% some way it breaks down. Some of them clueless. I mean, some of them are drowning. They need support. You know what I'm saying?
And you know
some
what?
of them don't know what to do and don't even know they don't know what to do.
But hey, this proverb kind of answered the question for us, because for many of the teachers, the kids are the crow and they are the sheep. The children are the crow, and some of these teachers are the sheep.
Moving back and forth.
And
And
they
don't want to.
And they just, no, I mean, it's like, hey, I'm just rolling. I'm going to ride. I'm going to ride. I'm going to ride this year out. I'm going to ride this year out. You keep on going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then, you know, the sheep will say something and the kid will laugh at them. You know what I'm saying? And the parent is the dog, because a lot of these kids, they go home and you wouldn't even recognize them you wouldn't even recognize some if you ran into it with their parents. At least for 5 to, huh?
I say that all the time. I can tell. I don't know what it is, and I hate to. I have, and I don't. I'm not even one that has discernment per se, but I had this eye. I can tell a child that came to school and get to school and they start acting like other people's children. I can always tell the child that is acting like someone else's child. Not the child that their mother has brought. And it's just a look. It ain't the clothes they have. It's nothing. It's like, what was that one folktale we had where you put the wolf clothes on, but you're really just a sheep, a fox,
a wolf in sheep clothing.
Yes, you look that way, but again, because of who I am and how I come up, it's like you can recognize that bark, right?
Right. Well,
I see you not really about this life.
Okay.
I see you really not about this life.
So it's more like you're describing the opposite story. The opposite story in Aesop Fables is called the ass and the lion skin.
Yep, that's it.
You had the ass and the lion skin.
I had one more epiphany. We used to have a student, right? This student failed a couple times. And this student was handicapped, right? And he was somewhat of a terror. Do you remember this?
Nope.
This student was a terror. The kids were frightened of him. And again, he was handicapped. Like severely handicapped. Do you know who I'm talking about? He may not have had legs.
You bet, and don't. Oh, goddamn.
Hey, so this boy has, he's been at school with me for the last 3 years, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh, yes, baby. So he went viral, right?
I know he went viral.
Okay, so I have been, this is the worst year I've seen him. When I tell you he threw a pity party one day that made me look in the mirror, because I just could not believe it, right? And so I couldn't believe I was hearing the words that was coming up. But anyways, the other day, I kept telling people that ever since that incident happened, that it had changed him, right? And just God spoke to me the other day, and what I heard was that all this time I thought that this kid thought he was the man. I had missed the fact that adults, right? That adults have made him out to be a freak. And not only, people say good things, oh, he got hands, this, that, and the other, but also they made you out to be a freak. The commentaries made you out to be a freak. They talked about you as if you are a weirdo, and you have to wear that too. That was public, right? That was public. Everyone heard it. Everyone saw it. And I haven't seen him since, but what I told you earlier, I'm constantly, when working with these males, Hatim, I'm constantly, even though in my heart I know that they need other males to model what it means, how what a man does. I know that I can teach them a piece of that by pointing out those men who they can model themselves, but also schooling them on what it means to be a man, right? Mm-hmm. And so sometimes I don't, in my heart, I just don't have that peace. You know what I'm saying? I'm a motherly person, but I don't have that peace when you might need it. And unfortunately, I won't see him for a few days, but that was my takeaway the other day. Just the other day. We watched you, and I thought all this time you thought you was the man, but really you are a child crying out inside. Because these people have humiliated you. They have said things about you. They have made a mockery of you. They have made you basically, like I said, what did I say?
A weirdo.
Yeah, a weirdo. And you got to walk around knowing that this is what people think about you, a freak. And it's sad. So this boy has put on he has become so hard.
Right, he got a mask. He got a mask so that he can't be hurt. He's wearing a mask. Yeah, I could dig it.
It's horrible. But again, unfortunately, he's older. He's older, and he's at that state where, you know what I'm saying, he's already come. It's going to be too late. I mean, it ain't gonna be too late because again, experience happens. Right. It changes your projection.
Once you
know what I'm saying?
Once you go through that rites of passage age, and you lock those patterns in, because what a lot of people don't understand, like with the young people development, the habits that they develop in puberty are usually the habits that they carry over into adulthood. So that's why our ancestors set the rites of passage right during this puberty time, this critical crisis, this natural crisis, so that they could fill in the bridge. They could bridge them they could bridge the change from childhood to adulthood. From adulthood,
I want to be a beacon of hope real quick.
From nation builder,
I want to be a beacon of hope.
Go ahead, because those are gaps. And if you are not prepared for it, you can fall down into that ravine and never make it back out. But go ahead.
I just want to remind everyone that the wonderful things about our brains is that they have plasticity.
Right.
And though I don't believe, I didn't agree that it was easier to train adults, I do believe that anyone can be trained and anyone could be taught and provided with new experiences that will give them their brains new passages or new schemas to connect to, right? And what it takes, it's got to be repeated. You see what I'm saying? It's got to be repeated in order for a kid to stop associating one action with another, or to have a disruption in what I would call a ghetto mentality that is birthed and nurtured from a young age and comes to fruition as an adult. That ghetto mentality.
Now it ain't. Now I'm gonna say that part of the repeating, and one of the things I think a lot of people miss is that in some form or fashion, the individual has to want to replace the behavior unless you have them in a confined space where you could directly redirect them in a proper fashion. So there has to be some desire to make that change as well, because you can repeat patterns, but if I'm not open to it, you're not necessarily gonna link into that shit. You know what I'm saying?
It took me to get beat up.
There you go.
That's what changed. Yeah. It took me. I tell everybody, first fight I lost was the last fight I fought. That was the rude awakening. When I figured out that I couldn't beat everybody, my whole life changed before my eyes. My whole life changed before my eyes. I wasn't that bully. I wasn't that mean, ill-spirited, obnoxious, loud. I wasn't that person anymore. Some people might argue that I'm still that person.
You learn who to bully. Uh-huh. You learn who to bully and who to flatter. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I learned. That's what I learned.
And that because we go in on that note, because the whole piece is knowing who you're dealing with. What is the order in your life? Is there an order? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us say we all leaders, but we all can't be leaders, and we all have orders that we belong to. Are you able to fit into the order in a proper fashion, especially if it's an order that you want to be in? Are you willing and able to play your role? Because a lot of people want to be everybody, and I don't, everybody can't be the boss, especially if you're in somebody else's system. You're not going to be the boss in a system that is not designed for you. Whether we talking job, whether we talking this whatever we talking about, you're not going to be the boss unless you have a certain mind state, and they can put you up in there and they test you and make sure that you're not going to revert back to something that might be dangerous for that business. So we got to understand it's about fitting in and knowing and being able to explore your environment. And in a sense, like, because you said it you were humbled in a violent way, but there's other ways that individuals can be humbled. And one of the things that I run into a lot of times in trying to humble people, or in trying to work with people to get them to a point where they have to realize that they need some humbleness in order to learn, because that's a major factor in the education process. You know what I'm saying? A major factor, because a person that's not humble, ain't no learning going on. You know what I'm saying? Now, so to humble them, sometimes it requires something that is disruptive. It don't have to necessarily be like an ass kicking, but in some form or fashion, it has to be something that totally disrupts and it makes that person uncomfortable. Right? It has to make that person uncomfortable. It has to make that person, damn. Maybe the way I'm thinking is, maybe there's something else that's some information I can get, or maybe there's something else I can do because this shit is not working. Right? That crow, that sheep needed to turn around and put those sheep teeth on that crow to help get that crow up, to humble that crow. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you need humbleness so that you can move to the next level, so that you can learn, no matter what system you in. But family, I'm going to let you go on and do your little closeout remarks, Lady J, and then I'm going to do mine.
All right. I just want to remind everyone that we are in the midst of the Great Awakening. We're in the midst of the Great Awakening. Do something today and every day that is in favor of our movement, that gets us closer to our finish line. So do something every day in support of the movement. Read a book, article, donate to a cause, volunteer your time and or services. Again, teachers are hiring. We need people who look like us in these classrooms. We need people who look like us in these police departments. We need people who look like us in politics. We need people who look like us in all of these industries that are underrepresented. by us. Entrepreneurs, home owners, all of the industries that help with buying homes and selling homes. You see what I'm saying? Repairing homes. We need all of that. If we don't have it, there's no way the infrastructure can take place in our communities. Use your social media networks to enlighten and inform. Sign a petition, march, plan a peaceful protest, participate in the boycott, and never forget, if we want change, we have to learn how to keep more of it in our pockets. The choice is ours. Let's make this day and every day productive.
All right, I'm just going to say look like us and think like us, or at least similar, you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to also add, because Lady J used the term, if you want to keep change in your pocket, I'm going to say take some of that change and support Kwanzaa. Go to Columbus Kwanzaa 365 and donate some of that spare change in your pocket, you know what I'm saying? $5, $10, $15, $20, whatever you can give. Get you a spot in the directory, or like I said, those that want to help with the Daily Toast, because like I said, I got one page, I want to get another page, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna need some help with that. So when you donate, on the little tab on the side, go on and put in there, hey, I want to help get a page for the Daily Toast, because all I need, like I said, all I need is 10 people with $10 a piece. All I need is 10 people with $10 a piece, or 20 people with $5 a piece, or 100 people with $1 a piece. You know, and I know Gye-Nyame Journey, we touching at least that many monthly, at least 100 different people. So, family, you know what I'm saying, no matter where you are, because so let's set the example, you know what I'm saying, let's go and build up our list so that other cities talk about, well, we need a list too. You know what I'm saying? So, family, I want to thank you for tuning in. You got all the links on there. Those that want to be on the on informed when this particular show is coming out, text FFGF to 77292. Once again, just to get information about this show and community events, because I'll combine those. Text FFGF to 77292, and I'll let you know when we broadcast it. Also, for those that want to be on the Daily Toaster list, right, for the Black Signal, because that goes out every day, remember, text, listen, Toaster to 77292. Text Toaster to 77292. And for those that forget and put Daily Toaster in, I'm not going to do it tonight, but I'm going to put Daily Toaster in there as well, so that if you happen to slip up and put that in there, it'll be in there too. So, family, I want to wish you a good night. I can't wait to see you at Kwanzaa. I can't wait to start hearing about all the donations that's coming in. I can't wait to start seeing y'all liking and share and helping to build this movement that's based on us lifting up our ancestors and celebrating ourselves by establishing culturally appropriate holidays. And with that, I'm going to say thank you for joining the congregation of the mighty. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. I am your host, Brother Hatim, and we have done another show called Folktales for Grown Folks, and I want to thank you for joining us. And hopefully, we have blown up some of your old paradigms. Alright, Brother Kwame say chitty chitty bang bang, man. I was the second youngest of 10 children, the youngest of 6 males. I got my ass kicked on a regular basis. What it taught me was to attack when they least expect, and then they learn not to fuck with you. Where do we turn in our skills info? Where do we? It's on the site. It's called the directory. If you are there on Kaumba, if you need me to help walk you through it, I'm going to do that. As well as, and one love to you as well, my brother. You know, always, brother, always is in support of us. So with that, I am out. Y'all have a great and beautiful night.